Good morning, Outlookers, and welcome once again to our channel. I would like to thank you for joining me in this episode. And today we will be discussing another topic which you might find helpful in your day-to-day living, and that is how to rise up from financial brokenness. Now, Outlookers, my friends, my mga kapatid, there are so many occurrences in our lives that leave us not only physically and emotionally broken, but financially shattered as well. No? So if serious study is taken about the Filipino society, only a small percentage belong to the elite group. Yung talagang mayayaman na hindi natitinag sa kahit anong kamalasan na nangyayari sa buhay nila, no? They can hardly be financially affected by bad times. No? Talagang sturdy na ang pagiging mayaman nila. And most of the Filipinos have leveled up in their financial status because of overseas work, 'di ba? Marami ang nagiging maganda ang buhay because of overseas workers, no? Members of the family going abroad to work and then sending money here, no? So the poverty level, which used to be really high before, has gone down to about 20% in the most recent statistics, no? And a big percentage, at least konti na yung nasa poverty level talaga. And then a big percentage belong na to the middle class. So the elite, which is very little, only there is only a very few of the Filipinos who are there. And then the poverty level has gone narrower, no? So marami ang nasa middle class na ngayon, no? So but however, mga outlookers, no, being in the middle class can be shaky, no, very shaky. It's not stable pa, no? When the family is hit by challenges, no, the financial status usually plummets down. And since the family members are not used to being financially broken na, most, if not all, do not know how to manage the situation well. No? So, ano ba ang mga rason? What are the reasons? Some of the reasons why people end up financially broken. Ano ba ang mga rason? First talaga is serious lingering illness of a family member. Yung may nasasakit, no? In the Philippines, in one of my videos I said it's very hard to get sick in the Philippines, no? Like my family member na afflicted with cancer, which entails a very expensive treatment of chemotherapy, radiation, and other drugs. And then yung mga cardiovascular accident, no, in the layman's term called stroke, no, which most of the time leaves the victim paralyzed and helpless, no? What if yung breadwinner ang nagkaroon yan, no? And then kidney failure, which could mean dialysis to sustain life, and many other serious and lingering illnesses, mga heart ailments at iba pa, no? So, mga serious lingering illnesses of a family member. Number 2 reason for financial brokenness is death of the family member. If the family member was sick for a long time before passing away, the family's financial coffers is really depleted, and surely the family is soaked in debt. No, ang dami ng utang, no, mga loans, ganito, no, just to sustain the illness, and then finally namatay pa rin, no? So exception to this would be if the family belongs to the affluent sector of the Philippine society. Yun na nga ang sinabi ko, na if the family belongs to the elite group, no, hindi sila naaapektuhan kasi marami talaga ang pera nila, mayaman talaga. But those who are in the middle class, naaapektuhan. Lalo na yung nasa poverty level, ano na kaya ang itsura, no? So, Yun. And then another reason for financial brokenness is separation of parents. No? Yung mga dating nag-aaral na mga anak, hindi na makapag-aral kasi abandoned by a parent. No? Nag-separate ang parents. No? So, it's very sad. And then loss of a job because of varied reasons. Ngayong pandemic na ito, marami ang nawalan ng trabaho. And just here in my province, no, marami talaga ang naghihirap dahil nawala ng trabaho most of the people, no? Kaya nag-proliferate ang mga farmers, no? Marami ang nagtatanim na lang ng mga vegetables at saka they are doing barter and selling of their farm products, which is good din naman, no? But hindi na talaga yung income ng family, hindi na talaga ganon kalaki, no? So another reason for financial brokenness could be vices, no? Yung papa or yung mama or any member of the family is into a vice. Nako, mahirap talaga, no? Alcoholism, smoking even, kasi ang stick ng cigarette ngayon is mahal na. I think 5 pesos. I don't know, no? So instead of the money to be used for some goods for the family, binibili ng cigarette or alcohol or worst of all, drugs, no? Usually hindi, may nakita na ba kayong tatay na nagdodroga? Meron, no? Pero usually yung mga young people talaga ang going into the vices, and there are even some young people stealing things from the house para maipagbili para they can buy drugs, no? So any form of vice, mga kapatid, is really harmful to the family. Anything that a family member does can really affect the status of the family. And there are so many others na rason for financial brokenness. Now, this episode is made to give just simple guides on how to rise from financial brokenness and move on. Now, am I an expert on this? Not really, but I have experienced this when my husband died. No, we were in financial trouble talaga. No, so I won't be ashamed of sharing this because these were the things that helped me, rise up from financial brokenness. So and I have to share this to you. Guides, number 1, admit that you are financially broken. No, you accept that you are in financial trouble. No, if there is no acceptance, if there is no admittance, it's really difficult to apply the next guideline. So talagang sasabihin mo na ko, I am financially broken. Kasi pag you will be pretending not to be financially broken, you will continue to be a spendthrift, then mahirap yan, no? You will end up in more trouble pa, no? And then, once you have admitted that you are financially broken, number 2, trim down expenses. No, trim down your expenses. No, there has to be a change in the way we live. No, in the way you live. No, so letter A, do away with insignificant buys. Yung mga binibili na kahit hindi kailangan. No, so example, lessen, if not eliminate, sandwich breads that you buy. As simple as that. No, when if you were used to buying 5 kinds of sandwich breads, no, peanut butter, guava jelly, cheese bread, ano pa yung iba? Ano pa ba yung iba? Mayonnaise, whatever, then lessen or eliminate na that one. Because in the first place, you have already admitted or accepted that you are financially broken. No? So, you have to trim down on expenses. If you cannot do away with sandwich breads, no, then buy only 1 kind, not the 5 kinds or the 6 kinds, no. And then instead of just as simple as this, mga kapatid, I have to share, no, instead of expensive drinks, you are used to expensive drinks, no, go for water na lang, no, go for water, but never go for powdered juices which are not healthy. Water na lang, mas healthy pa. And then another example would be do away with unnecessary purchases of clothes. Yung clothes, no? Just stick to the very important na mga damit na kakailanganin mo talaga. That's why if you are an office worker, you have to go classical. Buy na lang a blazer and a skirt, and then iba-iba na lang siguro yung nasa ilalim, no? Pero yung kids, you can buy cheap clothes for them na pwedeng malalabhan kaagad, tapos i-dry and then isusuot na naman, no? Just buy them siguro mga important nice clothes for church or for important occasions. Wala pa naman tayong mga important occasions ngayon, so don't buy na lang muna. And then another is junks, yung mga junks from your market list, i-junk mo na lang muna yan, no? Mga ano-ano, no? Mga junk food, no? Na binibili lang just to pop into your mouth anytime you like. So you can, and these are expensive, no? And you can eliminate them from your market list and choose healthy and solid food. So these are all under doing away with insignificant buys, which is under trimming down the expenses, no? And then aside from doing away with insignificant buys, ito, baka magre-react kayo. Change brands of toiletries, no? This is hard to accept, no? Yung dati mong mahal na sabon ay you have to change to cheaper brands, no? Or yung mga mamahalin mo na gamit ay you have to change to cheaper brands, no? This is very hard to accept. You have been used to these brands, but go back to number 1. Ano ang nasabi natin sa number 1? Admit that you are financially broken. So if you have admitted, then you can change brands of your toiletries. I tell you, malaki ang diferensya talaga sa budget mo. And bakit alam ko? Because I have been through this, no? We have been really hard up right after the death of my husband, because our financial coffers were drained during his illness. So it was really difficult raising 3 kids, no? And then naging maayos lang ang buhay nung natapos ang mga anak. So mabuti na lang, and I have been blessed by God with wonderful kids, no? Mababait, walang bisyo, no? So another would be cut down on electricity and water use, no? How? Baka hindi nyo makakaya ito, but you have to minimize the use of air conditioning units, no? Yes. So as far as I'm concerned, I had to use timers, and ultimately I'm blessed because I live in a neighborhood or in a place with many trees na hindi masyadong mainit, no? So I live in the hinterlands of the city. Yun. So hindi masyadong mainit dito. So kung hindi masyadong mainit, pinapatay ko ang air conditioning unit. Hindi ako nagagamit, no? So and there is a very big difference when you switch off the air conditioning units. Just open your windows and then use electric fan. And then the water use, you have to teach your children how to use water, no? Instead of shower, no, you can use dipper. It's more water conserving than shower, which is we are tempted to just let the water flow while we are soaping ourselves, no? So that's it, no? That these are under trimming down expenses, no? Do away with insignificant buys, change brands of toiletries, cut down on electricity and water use. Number 3, eliminate major expenses. Meron ka bang ina-amortize na car na na mamahalin? Nako, you change it na, no? Expensive car amortizations can do you no good, because in number 1, you have already accepted that you are financially broken, no? So if you have many cars, dispose of everything except one na gagamitin ng family, no? So if you are amortizing a very expensive car, then perhaps you return it and buy a cheaper one, no? So wise decisions yung mga ganyan. You cannot stick to, alam nyo kasi yung car para ba siyang status symbol, di ba? No? So just the thought of returning your expensive car, hindi mo kaya, no? Parang, naku, ano na lang ang sasabihin ng mga neighbors ko, gano'n, no? But, well, if you have number one already, you have already accepted, you have already admitted that you are financially broken, then you don't care what the neighbors would say, no? So, and ang importante sa transportation ay you will be transported from one place to another, no? Yun lang ang pinaka-importante, no? It doesn't matter what kind of car you will be using, no? As or what kind of four wheels you will be using, as long as meron kang ginagamit, no? So I advise talaga na i-dispose yung mga cars na hindi mo na gagamitin. If you have 3, dispose that 2, no? If you have one which is so expensive, return it and get another one cheaper, no? But of course, ito mga guides lang, mga outlookers, no? The decision is yours lang. And then expensive tuition fees, eliminate major expenses, expensive car amortizations, expensive tuition fees. So maybe it's about time to think of transferring your kids, no? Kasi kung talagang to a cheaper school, which is of quality also, no? Kasi if you will insist on sending them to a very expensive school, ikaw rin ang magsasuffer, no? I think all schools are qualified to mold children or students, no? So if they have been given permission by the government, then there's no reason why we will doubt the capacity of the school. So just pray for wisdom kung saan ita-transfer ang mga anak mo, no? So that's it. Then family trips, eliminate family trips and vacations. Remember, you have already admitted that you are financially broken. So saan ka kukuha ng pang trips and vacations, no? Maybe a night to a movie, no? When my kids were still small, I used to rent CDs during Friday nights, and then I will buy food, and then nakaupo kami dyan lahat and we enjoy the movie, no? So ganyan lang siguro, no? And explain to your kids. I have forgotten to include this, that you have to be very transparent to everybody in the family. You have to let everyone know, no? Explain to your kids the real situation, and you have to tell them or be transparent with them, no? So like if your youngest would say, why is it na hindi na pwede ganito ganyan, so explain why, no? And sa kanilang mga simple minds, they will understand that if you will explain properly, no? So that's it. Family trips and vacations, eliminate na muna. I'm not saying na forever and ever na yan ay nawala na. Hindi. Life, as I said in one of my videos, kanang times or hard times come and go, in as much as good times come and go. So if you are in a hard time, it has come to you, it will go, no? It will not be forever na maghihirap ka. So sa ngayon na muna na mahirap pa, eliminate na muna yung mga family trips and vacations. And then, elaborate celebrations. So, tayong mga nanay, gusto natin pag-birthday sa anak. Wow! No? Birthday bash talaga. And that's expensive, right? Sa lechon na lang magkano ng lechon ngayon? Diyan sa inyong mga lugar. Dito sa amin, 7,000. Yung 6,000, pinaka maliit na biik, no? So, sa lechon lang yan. How about sa cake? How about sa iba't iba pa, no? So, maybe you can do away with elaborate celebrations. Maybe you can just have spaghetti afternoon. Yun. No? Kanang all the kids in the neighborhood are invited to come to a spaghetti afternoon o mga ganun. No? So you will just make spaghetti. Yun lang. No? Pero hindi pa yan allowed ngayon. Ano? And then, if you have been used to jewelry purchases, no na muna. Very expensive ang jewelries, no? So, if you are used to that, no na muna. Maybe accessories lang siguro. Or wala lang, no? Kasi yung accessories mahal din. No? So, wala na muna ito because let's all go back to number 1. We have already accepted that we are in a financial problem, no? So what we are doing now is we're trying to survive. Okay, so that's number 3. Eliminate major expenses. Number 4, adopt simple living. So paano ba ito, no? It's very hard talaga, no? So ang unang-unang gagawin mo is do away with many house helpers. No, kung meron kayong 4 na helper, nako, i-terminate mo na yung 3 or silang 4, no? And then train your children to do simple house chores that focus on self-care, no? Kasi they will react na bakit akong gagawa nito, no? So like for example, dishwashing. Mabigat naman kung pinapa-dishwash mo yung bata mo sa lahat, no? So maybe you just wash your own plate and glass, please, and spoon and fork, and that's it, no? So little by little you are training them to do simple house chores or make your bed, please. And then yun, mga gamit mo sa school, you keep them, yung pinaka most arranged na mga gamit, bibigyan ko ng price, yung mga ganon, no? So they will be valuing simple house chores, no? And then schedule tasking, no? Schedule tasking, like for example, ang magwawalis ng kwarto niya ngayon ay si Monday, yan, Tuesday si Wednesday, si ganon. So, mga ganon na simple na scheduling sa mga tasks to do. Or to arrange the table or to maglalagay ng plates before eating. Every MWF si every TTH si weekends ako. Yung parent, yung mama ang sa weekend. So, mga ganon lang na simple. And I tell you, before you know it, you are over and done with your financially broken period, no? So yan lang mga kapatid. So in this effect, I would like to share with you a few Bible verses, no? So the first Bible verse that I'm going to share with you is 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. It says, "For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs." No? Sometimes, God takes away things that rob Him of His deity in our lives, because it says here na it is through this craving that some have wandered from the faith. Hindi na importante si Lord para sa kanila. Ano na ang importante sa kanila? Yung pera nila. No? So sometimes God takes away things that rob Him of His deity in our lives. Siya sana, pero mayaman ka eh. So yung instead na place ni God sa heart mo is yung pera mo na. No? Instead of busying yourself with things of God, you are busying yourself now with things that you can possibly do because you have a lot of money. Mga ganun. And then, we have to be reminded that He is a jealous God. He does not want us to be more concerned with other things than Him. No? And then, greed for money can cause people to do things that are not supposed to be done. Yan. No? So, that's what 1 Timothy 6:10 tells us. And then the second Bible verse that I would like to share with you is Malachi chapter 3 verse 10. It says, "Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. And try me now in this, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessing that there will be no room enough to receive it." Now mga outlookers, matanong ko nga kayo, are you giving to the Lord? No, ano ba ang tithes? It is a tenth of your income. No, so sabi kasi ng Bible is you have to give to the Lord. No, so sometimes our financial hardships are because we are not giving to the Lord. So I will have another session for this. No, yung tithing. I cannot speak about it now because this is a different topic. But I would like to encourage you that if you are not giving to the Lord, you give to the Lord. And where will you give? Give to the group or to the church where you are spiritually growing. Yun, no? And anong sabi ni Lord dito? If you will try me in this, if you will give, see if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessing that there will be no more room enough to receive it. Tingnan mo, so blessings ang magigive, no? But we will not make it as our motive na, ay, magbibigay ako kasi mabibless ako ni Lord. You give because it is of the Lord's instruction, no? And then the final Bible verse that I will share is Philippians chapter 4 verse 19. And it says, "And my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus." So as you move on, as you tackle your financial brokenness, don't be scared because this is a very great promise of the Lord. My God shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. So just put your whole trust in God to supply all your needs. So yan lang ang masishare ko sa inyo mga outlookers sa ngayon sa episode na ito. Sana ay patuloy kayong sumubaybay sa channel na ito at marami pa tayong pag-uusapan ng mga bagay-bagay na magbibigay ng kabuluhan sa ating mga buhay. No? Maraming salamat sa inyo and God bless us all.